Sorry guys for taking so long. I was wiping my tears off my face. I really was wiping the tears off my face. Fucking hell! Barcelona lose 3-0 to Benfica. Benfica for people. Did you know a fun fact? A Benfica shirt, a shirt from Benfica, a jersey from Benfica, is the first ever jersey shirt I have ever gotten. And the last ever shirt I have gotten from Barcelona is the yellow one, the one that we played today. That's full circle, guys. Full circle. The first ever shirt I have gotten for football is Benfica shirt, and then the last one I have gotten before the pandemic is this one of the yellow Señora kit. And my goodness, Barcelona. Where do we start? I just thought that from considering from minute one, I anticipated this going to be a very similar game to the one against Granada. But I don't know, guys. I always fall into the same struggle. I always think that Barcelona can pull something out of the bag. I always go out ahead into the game, feeling with my chest pumped out and, being like, oh, yeah, we can turn this around. 3 minutes in, we can see the goal from Darwin Nunez. We can turn this around. But nah, man. With this philosophy under this coach, we're going absolutely nowhere. This Barcelona side, they don't know even how to create a chance. What I've put here on Twitter, and you guys will probably know already, it's so easy, guys. It's so freaking easy to beat this Barcelona team. It's really easy to beat it. And I think that's the worst compliment you can give to a team. It's really easy to beat them. From a tactical standpoint, you only have to do one thing. That is sit back, defend, and attack on the counter. It's so easy because you know that Barcelona are not going to create anything. They don't have the capabilities to create anything at all. So if that happens, well then you just have to safeguard your own goal. Try to score on the counter because you know also the defense is shit and you're going to get opportunities come your way. Today, after... Let me read the stats. After probably 68% of Barcelona, that's kind of what I estimate from this game. Let me find you the exact number today. Let me just find the number for you guys. So after what? After 59.7% of possession, Barcelona lost possession at the end of the game, and that is also something we have to talk about. But after that amount of possession, you didn't manage to create a single shot on target. And after that amount of possession, you conceded probably the best amount of chances in your own net. When you have the ball for that amount of time, you're expected to be able to create the most potential goal scoring opportunities. But that is not the case with Barcelona at the moment. Barcelona are no way to be seen. And that's the worst part of it all. It's really easy to beat this Barcelona team. It's really easy. And that is the worst thing that you could say about a team. Like I said, that's probably one of the worst things that you could say about a team. And I think everything started here, and this is where a lot of people who are perhaps not in favor of Koeman being, sacked, which I am. I am on favor of Koeman being sacked because I do not see a future with this manager. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's not as bad as some people would have estimated him to be. He's actually a manager who has been able to play a lot of the youngsters and been able to progress a lot of our team. But it just stays until there. It reaches a point where that's the only thing that Koeman has done. If we talk then about trying to create a solid team and how to be able to reach the top echelon, the upper echelon of football elite, I don't think he's going to be able to take Barcelona to that point. That is where I think everything needs to change up a bit and we need to find a new manager. I always said that Koeman, for me, is a good manager for now, but I do not see that Koeman could be able to take Barcelona back there to the elite where we're supposed to be. So I think that the point is come now where we do need that. We need a refresh, a new face coming in and being able to change this up a bit. Because when honestly you look at this team and having found the answers, having found the possibilities, the road, the path that you needed to follow in the game against Levante, you just throw it out the window. You have a clean slate against Levante. You figure out how you need to play 4-3-3, all of these youngsters coming in, new midfield, refresh new faces. And then against Benfica, when you need a must-win game, you just don't follow through. I do not get that. I do not get that. If I find myself in a good position where something has given me a result, I'm gonna try to refine that. I'm gonna try to find the best way to boost that one thing that has already gotten a victory. I wouldn't just erase it completely and start all over again. That is where I have a very big discrepancy with Koeman. I do not understand what his game plan was coming into this game. It made absolutely no sense reverting back again to a 3-5-2 when you know you got demolished against Bayern with it. You decide to let go of a very good player, Mingueza, that was playing amazingly there. I don't know, you let go of Gavi, who was also giving you very good performances, even with Pedri out injured, and you turn back to the back three. I do not get that. And then I think if you're a competent manager that knows a little bit about your opponent, which Koeman apparently says he does, I wouldn't line up Eric Garcia right from the get-go against someone like Darwin Núñez. That mistake, that fix that Koeman did after conceding the first goal to Darwin Núñez and Benfica, of shifting Eric Garcia from marking Darwin Núñez and then shifting him with, Ronald Araujo, that is one thing that probably any other competent manager would have realized. You take a look at what Darwin Núñez can offer you through their left-hand flank, and certainly on the right. I'm not going to match him up with a very weak on the mark Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia is a player to distribute the ball, not a very good one-on-one marker. I'm going to certainly leave it up to Ronald Araujo or Gerard Piqué. I wouldn't have made that decision. And I think that most of you wouldn't have either. You just needed to think a little bit outside the box, and it really makes you wonder how much Koeman actually does know about Benfica. Because when we're coming into this game where we need to have these 3 must-win points, it's like he didn't even think it through. He didn't even realize what team we're going to be facing on the other side. And I think that is potentially the worst thing you could do, guys. And now I'm going to read a little bit of your comments, guys, to see what are you thinking, what are your thoughts on it. And let's start with it. You know what? Let's start with it. So, first of all, we have Jordan saying, mods, okay, we will certainly need someone to be my mod. Why don't, Jordan, you know what? You're going to be my mod. Jordan, you're going to be my mod for this live stream. Bet5 said, throw Koeman out to the airplane immediately, please. That's what I want. Finally, Agati says, Koeman has to resign. He's ruined his legacy. He did a good job last season. However, he's not the man for the future risk at Barça. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking as well. Cyber Genie says, don't make any more previews, else Koeman will blame it on you saying next you jinx it, because thanks to him, Barca has a future. I haven't made any previews this season, so I don't know where that's coming from. 69% is Koeman's fault. The rest is the team because there was no passion. I don't care what anyone says. Koeman has to get sacked today. Face it, we're Europa League side now. We all laughed at Real Madrid and we're losing 3-0. I think that Koeman is leaving tomorrow. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Raul Mendes. Like, I laughed at Real Madrid losing to Sheriff, but in all honesty, Sheriff put on a better performance and display than what Barcelona did. So we should be laughing at ourselves now. We all laughed at, yeah, I already read that. Sam, our Go Ding Dong still has the balls to say the solution is not to change the coach. I know, I read that from De Jong, so if you don't know, actually, De Jong said that the solution is not to change the coach. But I mean, what else can he say, right? What else can he say? I mean, you wouldn't, in that position, say, kick Koeman. You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that. EA Edit says, Alfred Schroeder could be our interim manager. To be honest, his energy on the sideline versus Levante plus the tactics were very good. I'm sure he was behind the tactics versus Levante and not Koeman. Dude, I'm honestly, by the passing minute, thinking that is the case. Because you take a look at what Alfred Schroeder did against Levante, and our team was completely different. You leave Koeman here, and it was completely awful. It was the other side of the picture. The entirety to the other side of the spectrum. Shani Nenguet says, Eric Garcia is the worst. I knew when we bought him, Lene would have been better. Benfica players like to take on defenders. That's why they couldn't pass through Araujo, but Garcia. I think Eric Garcia was very weak in this game, and I think that he's already being exploited because he is very weak on the mark. He doesn't have the best physical profile, let's say, to win those duels. And if he wants to have a future at Barcelona, it's particularly this Barcelona that we do not retain the ball that well, he needs to build up his physical mass. We talk about defenders of previous, like Piqué, let's say when he was very young, or Puyol when he started. These defenders were good on the ball, were good distributors like Eric Garcia, but the thing was that our team controlled the ball far, far better. And collectively, from the defense to the midfield to the forward line, we have a collective press. And Barcelona currently do not have that. Barcelona doesn't have that press. And without that press, Barcelona are very weak, and players like Eric Garcia are going to be exploited. Players like the young players like Sergio Roberto, players like Pedri, players like Gavi, Busquets more particularly. All of our players, if you take a look at what we have as a team, are very technical. There are technical players who are going to be able to retain the ball, beat the press with a one-on-one dribble or something like that. But unanimously, together, when you take a look at, I think, our entire side, most of you are going to be saying they're weak. I think that when you look at a manager and you think of a player, let's say like Goretzka versus a Pedri or a De Jong, probably a manager will take them because it's easier to make them function in a system. Pedri and De Jong, they need a right system to do so. They need the right amount of mobility between every single player in that midfield to tick. And Barcelona right now doesn't have that cohesion. That is why, for me, even more so, the decisions to change constantly players, names, tactics by Koeman doesn't make any sort of sense. If Koeman was behind Levante and behind the tactics that we saw in the previous game in La Liga, the 3-0 victory over them, I could have said, you know what, it makes no sense absolutely what you did there. But now I'm thinking more so by the day passes, as one of you guys commented here just a few minutes ago, that perhaps Alfred Schauder was in fact the guy behind those tactics. Because we take a look at what we do now against Benfica, and it's completely different. I do not understand. Our team is not that bad to change completely our setup. And really, changing our setup, Koeman, really think about it. Does changing your setup to a more defensive and, let's say, pragmatic approach, is it really gonna give you more chances of winning this game? Because you already saw it against Bayern Munich. You didn't create a single thing. Last time around against PSG as well, you managed to create a lot of chances, but waste a lot of them as well. So I do not really see that. I do not really see how you can make that assumption and how that clicks in your head normally. It makes absolutely zero sense, dude. It really, really does. This team sucks because this manager does not understand that it's better to lose your own way rather than shift your tactical setup to try and win something. At least Ernesto Valverde, when he was at the helm, he managed to get most results, bar the two ones that we actually needed, like Liverpool and Roma. But I mean, his 4-4-2 was at least more useful than this 3-5-2 or whatever Koeman is trying to do, dude. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense. What else? Leon Forster says, have we become the Arsenal of La Liga? That's a tough pill to swallow, but we're awful right now and joke in Europe. I think we are. I think we're the Arsenal right now. I really do think that. But Hamas says, I think the biggest difference is our press. When we press, we win. It creates chances and momentum. I agree with you. And the thing is that Koeman doesn't believe that with these players we can have a constant press against a team like Benfica. If you're going to have it against Levante, you can certainly have it against Benfica. Like, at least take the risk to do it. That's the thing. Koeman doesn't take the necessary risks. And that's what I thought that he was going to come to do. When you take a look at Koeman and you thought about how the media sold him when coming into Barcelona, he was going to be this commander, this general, this personality that was going to be able to command and impose his voice over the young crew, the young crop of players that we have right now in our side. But it's been completely the other. It's been completely otherwise. It's been just the difference. It's been a complete difference. So Arnold Gosh says, I'm hurt, bro. Roma and Liverpool weren't this bad. Nico is better than Frankie. No joke. How the fuck did Eric and Roberto didn't get subbed? That's on Koeman. Imagine playing a free in the back against a shit team. I agree. Cyber Genie says, your streams are like therapy after me watching a horror movie. I guess if our fucking game is a horror movie, yeah. Arid Mishra says, well, how was Pedri today in your opinion? I think that overall we cannot single out any single individual player. I think collectively we were just shite. Like, we really, really were bad. If I had to mention one player that always surprised me, is still Ronald Araujo. He is still saving our asses time and time again. He's the only good, consistent player I can go and say, you know what? He's a good player. He's a very good player. Every week in, week out. You know what? 7 out of 10. Every game. But Post that, move forward. Look at next to him, Eric Garcia. To the right, Roberto. In front, Frankie, Pedri. All of them, I didn't like a single one of them. I really didn't. Not even Memphis, not even Luke De Jong, Coutinho, not a single player who came in, not even Marc-André Ter Stegen. And let me tell you guys, you talk about Nico Gonzalez being better than Frankie. I think Frankie got devoured today. I think that when Nico Gonzalez came in, he also got completely destroyed, dismantled. Our team was just all over the place because we don't have a cohesive system that we want to play. We don't. We just expect to put the right pieces in the right position and play the best. And you know what? They're not even in the right position. So Koeman, I do not get what you're trying to do. C. Armacin says, I swear I knew what was going to happen even before the game starts. How the hell Koeman is not knowing? Why do you prefer Roberto over Mingueza? Laporta should tell the assistant manager to coach. And no hope for Haaland coming to Barca is in the trash. I guess that was never hope, really. What the hell was Luke De Jong doing on the pitch? Why the fuck is Barca trying to renew Roberto? Barca in the Europa League. Luke De Jong, I openly welcome you to Bangladesh League. You will have a good time. If you try, you can be the top scorer, but I know you can't. Luke De Jong is not a Barca type of player. He's the reason why Barca started to cross the ball in the air so much. Frankie did not play good. He didn't play good. Pedri is a 30-minute player. The sixth choice center back for City was dreadful today. Shai was just the sixth choice. Oh my god. Xavi has to, this is by Sarah Gini. Xavi has to step up because right now he can't print his system on young minds easily and will be less risky as we are already at rock bottom. But Roberto Martinez is just like Koeman. He really is. De Jong was so impressive until he got sent to a center back position. That's the thing. Every single player got completely devoured. We really got devoured. Chanel says, we lost. We had key players coming from injury and everything takes time. Let's be realistic. Koeman in a few minutes. I thought that almost was fucking now. Oh my god. Did I really made you a mod? And Joshua Sarabia, did you just comment on that? My cam shot is faster than Luke De Jong. Dude, I want to screenshot that and send it to my friends. I'm gonna fucking screenshot that. I also heard another day somebody said to Camavinga, to Eduardo Camavinga, if you know Spanish, Eduardo come pinga, and I was like, oh my god. That is so funny. Vishar Chandra says, how is Agüero and Dembele coming back gonna change anything? That's the thing, they're not gonna change anything. If you think Ansu Fati, Pedri coming back, well, they both already came back. Agüero, Dembele, all of these players coming back, if you think they're gonna fix something, they are not gonna fix a single thing. They're not gonna fix anything. They are really not gonna fix a single thing. Pedri wasn't ready to start, wasn't effective. That's by Andrea Pierre. And yeah, I agree with you. 100%. 100%. Pep in one game played Fernandinho and Rodri center back, and Garcia was on the bench. Koeman out and take Luke De Jong on the pie with you by Mohamed Adam Hassan says, I didn't watch this game, but I was shocked about the results. Siko Day says, thank God Koeman did not put Puig in for 5 minutes. Puig needs to leave. Laporta said Koeman won't be sacked today. I want to find that out. You know what? I want to find out right fucking now what are the match reactions from Koeman. I'm going to go to Twitter, guys, and find that out for you right now. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Here it says by Elena Condis 4 seconds ago. Laporta went down to the dressing room to talk with the players. No decision regarding Koeman's future will be taken tonight. The board scheduled a meeting or tomorrow morning. Laporta will take the final decision. So nothing new from that front. Laporta isn't expected to make a hot decision tonight. In fact, he went down to the dressing room after the game to show his support to the players, but meeting tomorrow and everything will be valued. It is Laporta who will make the final decision, of course. Confirmation. There won't be any big news surrounding Ronald Koeman's future tonight. Tonight there will not be any news about Koeman's future. Apparently, Koeman putting pressure to his... Okay, this is very interesting. So Koeman is already putting in pressure to the whoever manager will take over. I think that Koeman here is saying that he's being treated unfairly and he will probably leave the club in that position. Koeman will say that he was badly mismanaged by the club and he didn't have the right tools to exert as a manager, but that is what you did. That is what you signed on the dotted line. You signed to become a Barcelona manager in these circumstances. So you have to think better from that position. If I get a job in a company, I'm going to have the job to read the context in what that company or business is situated currently. If you're going to become Barcelona manager, you of course have to know that this club is in complete disarray. So I cannot defend Koeman here saying that that's a choice. But however, Koeman had the following to say. Let me just translate it in my head. Acabar segundos no es tan complicado. Se ganar el dinero después del Benfica y esperar que el Bayern no sea lo que es. Okay, he's already saying that the last few games, it's not that trying to qualify is not that hard. It's only about winning Dynamo, it's beating Benfica, and then trying to beat Bayern. I mean, of course, that is fucking easy. Koeman says, we're living in a world where apparently when you lose, there is no confidence. And when you win, all of the confidence is restored. It's all very opportunistic. If you guys, the media, want to participate in this stuff, go ahead. Koeman says, I think that if we win the 2 next games and Bayern makes his own against Benfica at home, we will go to the round of 16. But that's not the point, Koeman. The point is not that we go to the round of 16. The point is that I want to see good football. And I think he's completely missing the mark. I think that trying to progress to the round of 16 is not clearly Barcelona's... Well, it is Barcelona's expectations. It should be. But it should be actually to play good football. Like, it is to actually play some decent fucking football. That's the worst of it all. We just play terrible. We really play terrible. Villarreal, with a shit team, dude, with his fucking secondary team. They went to Old Trafford and gave a complete bath, un baño, at Manchester United. And Manchester United, would that include Cristiano Ronaldo, Sancho, Pogba, they completely battered them. They lost the game. Yeah, they lost the game. But if I was a Villarreal fan, I would go ahead and say, you know what? It was a good game. We played to the best of our abilities. But here coming to Barcelona, we don't even play good. And that's the worst thing. That's the worst. That's what pains me the most. We don't try to our fullest. And I always said it. I repeated this against Roma. I repeated this against Liverpool. I repeated this all the freaking time. If you want to lose, lose. But at least make sure that you play. At least make fucking sure that you give the 100% of your ability. That's literally how I grew up. My mom always told me, used to say to little Buga, was that, you know what? It doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter if you lose. You have to make sure that you always give your 100%. And this team is not doing that because they can't physically do it. They cannot do it because our limit is so far down below because our manager is not preparing this side to even try and be able to give their 100%. And that is where we need to improve on. That is where we need to improve. We need to improve from our own right. From the very beginning, from the training sessions, to the preparations, to the match fitness, to the match sharpness. This side needs all of these things to start tweaking to actually make a proper football. Make a proper team, sorry. And when you actually make that team, when you have that squad, make sure you repeat it. Make sure every single player knows their position. Make sure every single player knows their role. And make it consistent. Make it consistent. Do not change from one formation to the next one. Do not shift the players all around. Just make it sure so it's all together and it's simple to play around. You take a look at every single other team out there that play in the Champions League tonight. Juventus, even Juventus, which has a new manager in charge. Chelsea, Bayern Munich, even the smaller teams like Zenit. All of these sides, they have a starting 11. And from that starting 11, they have a formation. From that formation, they have the right pick of players that they want to play for that 11. And then after that, you have the substitutes. Barcelona, well, don't have that because of many injuries and suspensions. But we are still needed to be able to fill the roles and not necessarily need to shift formations. The worst thing that you can do, in my opinion, ever in football is that change formations just because of the sake of it and your players ask for it. That makes no sense. Once in a lifetime, it can work. And when you know exactly what your opposition does, those tactical shifts from Pep Guardiola, Conte, and all of these managers in the latter stages of the Champions League that work out like Nagelsmann against PSG against Atletico Madrid last season. All of these things, they work because they know what the opponent is going to bring. But like I said from the get-go, putting Eric Garcia to mark Darwin Núñez, it tells you all that you need to know. Koeman doesn't know shit about Benfica and doesn't know shit about his players and doesn't know shit about his own players. And I think that's the worst thing that you could potentially do as a manager. How the hell do you not even know that? Like, you need to know that the weaknesses of Eric Garcia. You need to have your fucking scouting files, profiles, all of it in your fucking desk, and you need to read it and see how you can match and make the best team. It makes no sense, dude. It really makes no sense. Fuck this team. Fuck this manager, dude. Ronald Koeman, utter bullshit. Utter bullshit. I wanna rest. Let me load your comments. I just wanna see quickly the other results. Juventus beat Chelsea 1-0. Okay, that's good. Interesting. Salzburg beat Lille. Sevilla and Wolfsburg drew. Bayern Munich 5-0 against Dinamo Zagreb. My goodness. Barcelona are at the bottom with the worst goal difference. Can you believe it? Barcelona are bottom of the group in 2 games with the worst goal difference. Wow. Wow. Okay, here we're back again in the chat. Michael Young says, funny how Koeman said after the Bayern game that Roberto isn't suited for that position. All for him to play Roberto in that same position. Incredible stuff. Dude, that's Koeman in a nutshell, really, Michael Young. That's Koeman in a nutshell, Michael. Good point. Good job. Buga, it's 3 a.m. here. It's just sad to see this kind of performance by Artia Mishara. I know. It pains me to have you to even tell you that you need to watch this. And thank you all of you guys for tuning in. I know that when matches like this happen, potentially we do not want to be together here discussing this because it was utter bullshit. But thanks for all of you who tune in. Thanks to all of you who tune in because it actually helped us. Actually, it's good. It's good to see. Dimitrios, oh my god, I'm gonna try to pronounce your last name. Dimitrios Georgiou. Okay, that's the best that I tried. You have to say the following. We need at least one world-class forward to make smart runs. It's fast and it's fearless. Not a promising talent, not a youth. We need an established world-class striker and not just big names like Grisi. I honestly cannot agree with that to a point. I thought that in today's game, there were many opportunities where a ball from Pedri or Frankie could go into the feet of Luke de Jong, but you just know they weren't going to pass to him because he was pretty slow. And he doesn't have the capability in him to beat the man in that runs in behind the spaces. Runs in behind the defenders. I just think he's not capable of doing that. But well, anyhow, I also want to say that I think that I don't even know what's happening to our players. They don't have the grit. They don't have the strength to battle it out in every single duel. There were plenty of chances where our players got easily beaten. There were plenty of chances where we could have scored. I go back to the two that Frankie should have shot, but he didn't. The first one was a ball to Luke de Jong. Why are you passing it to Luke de Jong there? Frankie, just shoot, dude. Just shoot the ball. Just shoot into the back of the net. Just try and aim for the net. Passing it to Luke de Jong there make no sense because you know that he has Lucas Verissimo just behind him and he's gonna try and close him down. Hence, it's a very easy finish, but there's always a possibility that the defender is gonna get to it, and he got there. So why not just shoot? You weren't even that close to the goalkeeper. And then after that, there were plenty of chances where we crossed and there wasn't even a single player in the box, or we did a low cross and there wasn't any single player coming beforehand. De Jong almost did that twice, where he came over a lap, and then instead of just looking at who he had behind him and try to retain the ball for a little more time, he just passed it back and hoped for the best. That makes absolutely no sense, dude. Shoot, try to beat your man, try to do something, but not just waste the opportunity. And I'm also pretty mad with Roberto at that. Plenty of chances. Roberto's first touch is awful. It's god-awful. Luke de Jong has a better first touch. Romelu Lukaku has a better first touch. These players have a better first touch than Sergio Roberto. Roberto is awful with his first touch. And they almost always hinder us. They really, really do. We lose possession all the time. Mr. T-Rex says, we need some experienced player in the team. 6-7 very young players doesn't work. It really doesn't. Cyber Genie says, bro, thanks. Don't worry. The pie is empty. Luke de Jong is empty. And seems like stupid Koeman is racist. What? I don't know. Angel, can you please elaborate on that comment? Because I do not understand. 1, why are these two players empty? And 2, why is Koeman racist? Claudio Alvarez says, unpopular opinion, but Memphis isn't lethal. I mean, Memphis isn't a finisher. Memphis isn't the guy to score 30 goals a season. He's not that type of player. So I get that, but should be better. Anthony 60 Calvillo says, Phoenix was really defending Koeman all season. You're such a bot that doesn't even watch the game. Get the fuck out. Dude, stop fighting. You're all Barcelona fans. Faisal Ahmed says, do you think Depay loses possession too many times? He's the clinical finisher, but he's unable to complete most of his dribbles. You know what? I actually do agree with that. I think that Memphis Depay tries to win the ball many times, trying to retain it using his back to the defender, and he always tries to pivot around it, use it by either one-on-one skill or a pass, and then just turn around and beat his man. But most of the time that either results on a foul and slows the play quite a lot. That is something that you should do centrally, not really wide where the Depay does it. That is where I would shift it, and probably a manager coming in like Xavi will do that as well. They would slot Memphis Depay centrally, because winning those fouls centrally are better for you, one, because if you ever have a set piece, a free kick, it's closer on goal. And then the second thing is that you allow then for runners like your left wing and right winger to do that. If you pivot on a wing, you only have two outlets, and that's either your fullback, which means that your defense is going to be very much exploited, or one of your on-running midfielders or striker. So with all of those three options, I think it's much more limited, and it's easier for a team to defend in that scenario, in my particular opinion. I would be looking to slot Memphis Depay much more centrally, and I think that right now, without a natural winger, he's really suffering because of that. If we get Ansu Fati, if we get Ousmane Dembele, I would put them right in the team, playing both left and right wingers. That is where I think they're suited. And maybe even someone more like Coutinho in the midfield could have helped us a lot even in this game and the ones prior. I think that if I take a look at this side, and the first problem that I saw is that why three defenders? Why three defenders? You know, from the get-go, you know that if you ever want to slot into a 4-3-3 or you want to go back to a 3-4-3, De Jong can do that job. De Jong can be the guy to turn it either into a defender or either into an attacker, midfielder, sorry. So you don't need to add an extra man there. Just get somebody else in like Gavi from the get-go and see if he can have some ball, if he can retain the possession for a bit longer. Busquets also here, if Busquets isn't playing as a pivot, and if Busquets isn't there in the midfield just trying to shift it around and distribute it, it makes no sense to put Busquets higher up like he was today, because Busquets cannot run. Busquets cannot do those movements, that constant tracking from going forward, joining the attack, and then defending. Busquets doesn't do that. Busquets needs to play with a pitch in front of him. And if you don't do that, then you literally do not know how to use this player. He has never done that role in his career. He needs to play in front of the defenders and look forward to the pitch, because that is how he does. He's a very good player trying to win those tackles where he has the opposition running at him. If he has the opposition running in behind him giving the back to the players, it makes no sense. It really makes no sense. The 3-5-2 is really a 5-3-2 in disguise, because the way Koeman sets up is to defend all game and concede chances. Kinda. Benfica, we have Otamendi the goal. Dude, Benfica, that's the thing. Whenever we play, and that's something that's gonna be becoming more regular, more consistent, I would say. The fact that whenever teams play against Barcelona now, they're gonna be turning up. They're gonna be turning up because they know that they can beat this team. They're gonna be like, you know what, Benfica, ¿sabes qué? This is the moment to try and win this game, because this is a weak Barcelona side. They have players injured. We can win this. We can win this. We really can win this game. And that is what happens every single time now that Barcelona plays. Before every team, some teams would be like, well, Barcelona, this is a game that we can afford to lose. But now, that's not the case. Barcelona is a direct rival to most. And you saw it today. Otamendi, Lucas Verissimo. For me, those two players, they were on point. Darwin Núñez, every single one of these players were fighting for the ball. João Mario in the midfield, he was constantly trying to batter Busquets. And he had the job to man-mark him. And you can see how all of these players just have extra energy. They boost to try and beat their man. And that is what I think is so easy now for Barcelona. Why it's so easy for Barcelona to lose, or so easy to get at them. Because this team doesn't provide you with much. This team is weak. It's really, really weak. And they're not good physically either. They cannot run as long, as far, and our substitutions makes absolutely zero sense. I think our team is probably hit the worst that I've ever seen in a while. I think this team is bad on paper or it doesn't have the right amount of quality, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be doing better with it. We really shouldn't be doing better with it. With this team, this is probably one of the worst sides of Barcelona history ever. Point. That is one of the worst sides I've ever seen from Barcelona, player by player. But even with the player by players that we have, it shouldn't be this bad. It shouldn't be this bad. It really shouldn't be this bad. With the players that we have, we should be able to beat Benfica. We shouldn't be losing 3-0. And I think that is something that Koeman has stuck in his head, saying like, you know what? With these players, I cannot win. I cannot win with these players. These players are really bad. No. We are in transition. We need to rebuild. We have young players. Next year, we're going to compete. No. You're lying to yourself. You should be doing better with these players. By man, you take a look at this team and you put it up against Benfica, and they're a better team. You put it against Arsenal, they're a better team. Against Tottenham Hotspur, maybe equal. But the thing is that you should be able to win. You should be able to beat a Dortmund. You should be able to beat an Inter de Milan. These teams are at the same level right now. And you should be able to win, to beat them. You really should be able to beat them. You should. Oh my God, you should. Koeman, once again, more statements from Koeman. In the end, the culprit is the coach, but during many stages of the match, the approach was good. What? Koeman, if you don't score, you don't win. People just stare at the result. If you win, everything is calm, but if you lose, people stare at the coach. We live in a world like this. I see us in the round of 16 of the Champions League. We win both the game against Dinamo and Bayern draw against Benfica. It's not complicated. Yeah, but Bayern won't draw. Bayern won't draw. Bayern won't draw against Benfica. They won't. You need to beat Dinamo twice, and then you need to beat Benfica to get what, 9 points? And then Benfica will have to, if Benfica Benfica will lose against Bayern Munich. So Barcelona can still go through, but they need to win every single game but Bayern Munich, which is still tough now because with this team, you don't think they can do it. I don't think they can do it. I really, really don't. Koeman else he had to say, we have to demand more from the players as well. If we create 4 or 5 great opportunities at this level, we cannot score any. We have to score at least 2 goals. I agree, but my goodness. Fucking look, De Jong missed 2 sitters. It really, really missed 2 sitters. Tomorrow the meeting will have the purpose to see how Laporta takes a decision on Ronald Koeman. I hope that he does. Ronald Koeman, I don't know what Barcelona think and what they will decide about my future. It's not in my hands. Pretty much. And guys, if we're being honest, I think that Ronald Koeman won't ever fucking manage in the Camp Nou again. Our next game is against Atletico Madrid at the Wanda. And we will potentially lose that game. And if we lose it, then Koeman is gone again. And the thing is that after that, it's international breaks. And Koeman won't manage. Koeman won't manage for another Camp Nou game. He won't. He simply won't. He won't. 7K Siad says, if Barca win against Dynamo twice and draw against Benfica draws to Dynamo, we go through considering Bayern wins all games. I mean, even if Benfica wins against... no. If Benfica wins against Dynamo, he gets 3 points to them. Then, let's say Benfica loses the next 2 games to Bayern Munich. You know what? Which is the most realistic thing. And then they only can get 3 more points. We can go through still, but we need to win against Dinamo twice and against Benfica 1 more time, and Bayern has to win all of their games. They have to win all of their games. Too Soon says, we have a world-class midfielder which dominated the Euros. Do not tell me that Benfica has better players than Barca. It's all down to Koeman. The mentality, the tactics, everything is wrong. I agree with you, Too Soon. I agree with you. Like, our team is way better. Our team is better. And we should be able to fucking win this game. Dimitro says, why is Roberto one of our captains? Like, all due respect to him, but he would be the type of guy to jerk in the corner watching somebody rail his wife. That man has no authority. Dude, I'm gonna screenshot that as well. I'm gonna show it to my friends as well. That is fucking hilarious. Laporta should be held accountable for wanting to renew Roberto, and he couldn't renew Ilax. I'm not sure Ilax wanted a King's ransom like the media put out. You know what? I agree. You're giving Benfica too much credit. Koeman is just a horrible coach. What was the formation after Piqué came out? Luke is a passenger, Pedro Roberto. I don't know when. What do you mean I'm giving Benfica too much credit? I think Benfica played well. I think Benfica played well with what they had, and they played well. They played better than Barcelona. It's just that Barcelona was shit as well. That's a fact. Like, Benfica did well, Barcelona did bad. On paper, Benfica gonna win it. But Barcelona should have won. On paper, we had the right to fucking win, dude. We should have. And when Wilson says, I don't know why after this Koeman stays. If he says this, I hate Laporta. He's just for words he doesn't act on. Watching this stream from South Africa. Thank you. Not thank you. Thank you. Hi. Hi from South Africa, dude. Hi from South Africa. I know some people from South Africa, but none of them watch this shit. That is Barcelona. Imta Islam says, Angel Correa better get these shooting boots as he's gonna have to score again to sack our coach for the second time. I can't wait. Was he actually the one to sack Quique Setién? No, Quique didn't sack after Bayern Munich. When did Barcelona got... Why do you say this again? Islam, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, I know, Intranocte. I know. Pirlo is a very choice to take over Barcelona. Pirlo. No sense. Let me check out more news about Pirlo. Where are you all getting Pirlo, dude? Yeah. I read again. Andrea Pirlo is the favorite choice by Joan Laporta. Dude, makes no sense. Makes no fucking sense, dude. How the fuck is Pirlo our first chance? How? Apparently there's a video going out of Laporta going to the airport. He's there at the airport. I don't know if you can see it. Really small there. But he's just silent. He's not answering any questions. I think he's thinking. And I like that. Just think, dude. Just think about what we need to do with his team. How the fuck did we lose 3-0 to Benfica, dude? 3-0. 1-0. Even 3-0. That's the thing. It keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. 3-0 to Benfica. I'm just sinking it in. It's just sinking in. 3-0 to Benfica. 3-0 to Benfica, dude. Fucking 3-0. The board is furious with Ronald Koeman. It looks like he will manage the game this weekend and the decision will be taken after that. Like I said, I think Koeman's last game against Atletico Madrid will be it. And I do not see him fucking managing a single game after that. I think Koeman's period at Barcelona is done. I think it's done. I think it's over. Koeman gets sacked, please. Koeman gets sacked. Sorry, I just got distracted because I received some stupid thing from the visa. Dude, why the fuck is Pirlo? Pirlo, dude, Pirlo. Pirlo is the main choice to replace this man. We've already gone 45 minutes, dude. Wow. Oh yeah, you're right. Supercopa, Correa Actos. Yeah. I remember now. Okay, I'm gonna read these two more questions out, and I think I'll get going because I need to start thinking about more videos on this situation because it changes so rapidly. Last 2 days ago, Ansu Fati was the king of Europe. 2 days later, Barcelona are in turmoil again. So, Jevan says, "BugaLuis, what do you think about Laporta's interest in Roberto Martinez? I don't like it at all. One more three defender manager and we're fucked." Look, I don't have a problem with three defenders in a team. Actually, a back three is more attacking than you think, and a back three was the main formation that Cruyff used. So it's all smoke and mirrors, but it depends how you use it. It depends how you actually make it work. And TJ Swarup says, next manager should be the permanent one. No interim is just my given time to rebuild. No hurry. It needs time to dominate again. But when we do, world will be shook again. I like that. I like that mentality. Anthony Calvillo says, Buga, why doesn't the assistant coach Rauder becomes a coach? He did way better than Koeman. I think it's only one game, and I think that his contract is tied to Koeman. So if Koeman is sacked, he potentially leaves as well. I don't think there's a chance of Schroeder becoming the coach. I really don't. What if somehow Barca wins against Atletico? I mean, it could happen, but it's fucking terrible. It would just really, really difficult. And the last thing that I want to say, guys, is that I'm going to leave you with a little bit of misery. I was going to say hope, but it's really misery. Out of losing the first two games, out of the 140 teams that have done that, out of the 140 teams that have lost their first two games in the Champions League, only 12 have qualified for the next stage of the Champions League. That is a real big pill to swallow. It's a really big pill to swallow. I think that's where I'm going to be leaving it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember to drop us a like to this video. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all of that. I'll be there on Twitter commenting, just fucking tearing my heart out and crying and doing all the things that a Barcelona fan will be doing at the moment. And yeah, that's going to be it, really. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Take care. And have a good day. Have a good day. Try to make something out of it. This game was shit, but I think it's the end. I think if it's good, if there's a silver lining, it's that potentially a new manager will come in. This was a terrible disaster. And honestly, Koeman, game over. No more lives. He cannot have more lives. It's game over. It's game over. That's gonna be it. And yeah, like I said, see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.